Howdy folks, it's Brian and welcome back. We're doing a super fast update on the Stone Woods and Cook 41 Willys. That's also known as the Swindler 2. So did some more reading about the car today and found out that that is a fascinating machine, and it had been in a couple of wrecks or something, racing and both towing. I guess they had some towing incidents and they had to rebuild the car a couple of times, but the car still went on to race and win championships time and time again. So it's just stories like that. I just like hearing stories like that because they overcame the fact that they had to rebuild the car. It's like the type of things that they put in movies, and this is real life. So that's even more fascinating. But cutting to the chase here, we've been mocking up the interior. Here's the interior pan. And at first I thought this was a mold fail right here, but turns out that's supposed to be like that. That's done on purpose. Transmission and the gearing and everything is going to be, not the gearing, but the gear selector is going to be sticking up through there. The frame is in good shape. It sits pretty level, so that's nice. But we are having a little bit of an issue with the fact that, of course, because it is old molds, we have a lot to clean up on here. See the kind of extra bits that are kind of sticking out here and there. Yeah, it's kind of, I guess the molds are a bit on the tired side, and we just want to make sure that while we're cleaning this stuff up, that we don't clean off something that's supposed to be there. So we're being very ginger about all that stuff. We do have most of the engine block built, and this engine block goes together in a very interesting way. There's the lower half of the block, and then half of the actual block. Yeah, the top half of the block is in two separate halves themselves. And then there's the heads, and then there's some sort of little spacer piece that goes in there. And then around on the back side, we have the oil pan that goes on, and then this lower half collar goes into place. And you can see not everything seems to line up perfectly, but when you get it all fudged into place and everything, it actually represents what it's supposed to be. So if nobody sees any of this stuff going on here, we should be okay. But we did all this to make sure that the transmission was going to fit on there pretty well. The transmission has like an alignment collar there, and then the transmission itself is made into two pieces. And you can see, look at this. That doesn't go together very well. But if I had sanded that any narrower so that it was all together, I guess it would be too narrow. So we got it all set up so that it goes together pretty nicely. And we're going to work on the seams and everything and make sure that looks nice and pretty. But the next thing for us is to figure out the water pump and timing chain piece that's supposed to fit on the front here. There was supposed to be an alignment lug on the back side of that, but it wasn't fitting with anything that was going on here. In the instructions, they show there's supposed to be some sort of square hole, and then after putting it together, I see this piece here. I'm like, is that supposed to be the square hole? No, it wasn't. It's supposed to be lower than that. So I don't know if I did something incorrectly or if there's just interpretation just going on there. So we want to make sure that this is at the right height, I guess, because this is all one piece here, the pulleys and belts. So we want to make sure that we pre-assemble the blower and set that all together, and then make sure that the water pump and timing chain cover are the right distance from the blower itself, so we don't have to do any weird shimming and stuff like that, or shortening if we get the dimensions wrong. So that's the next thing for us. Before we go and clean up everything, we want to make sure we got all of our geometry right. And then the next thing is chrome. I've been looking at this chrome tree, and I've been thinking that I might just strip all this chrome. Goodbye. So maybe I'll leave the bumper. But yeah, I mean, the photos I've been seeing of the car is that there wasn't a lot of bling on the machine. There was chrome accents on the car and stuff. And what's fascinating is that when the NHRA changed their rulings for weight classes, this was no longer able to be in Class A because it weighed too much, so they had to move it down to Class B. So they built a second car and that one became Swindler A. This one became Swindler B. This guy was all steel, and Swindler A had fiberglass front end all over it, and fiberglass doors and stuff. This guy ended up weighing 1,000 pounds more than the Class A car. So I mean, that's like, holy crap. Okay, dang, somebody went on a diet. But yeah. Oh, also, I did not know this until I'd done some reading today, but this car went head to head with the John Mazzeman car that I'm also doing, and kicked its ass. So that's kind of cool. I did not know those two had gone head to head in competition. So yeah, let's see if these guys battle it out here. All right, y'all, we're going to go ahead and sign off now. We've got lots of stuff going on starting tomorrow with family. We got family coming into town and stuff. So you probably won't hear from us over the weekend. We will try to keep up with videos as much as we can in the interim. But until then, we'll talk to you guys a little bit later on. Everybody have a great weekend, and thanks again for tuning in. Bye now.